friends, welcome back to On Location Vancouver. I'm your host, Zara Durrani. The show is brought to you with the support of TELUS STORYHIVE. Today we're here at the Richmond Olympic Oval for the launch of something truly transformative, the inaugural OneAbility Games. Taking place this May, the OneAbility Games will bring together more than 750 students alongside over 400 provincial and national level athletes with disabilities in a fully integrated multi-sport games model. This isn't just about competition, it is about access and showing young people what is possible when inclusion is the expectation, not the exception. Let's go take a look.
I'm now pleased to bring Nathan Clement to the stage. Nathan is both a para-swimmer and para-cyclist athlete. He's a Paralympian and a world champion, and Nathan has been a supporter of the OneAbility Games since we first shared our vision with him.
I like to say my Paralympic journey began July 6, 1997. And as beautiful a storybook as that is, the day I suffered my stroke on July 6th, it's not truly the full picture. As a kid growing up, I was afraid of sport. I was afraid of really putting myself out there. And by the age of 9, 10 years old, I eventually got into soccer. And as I was playing soccer growing up, I just so happened to be on this pitch on this one Saturday day, and this BC soccer rep saw me out on the field, playing, trying to kick a ball. This referee, who was refereeing the next game after mine, went up to my parents, found them in the crowd, and told them about parasport, adapted sport. And for me, my mom, my dad, my grandma, my grandfather, this is a whole new world we didn't know about. I was just one athlete of hundreds of thousands that have been down this same path, whether they were found in a parking lot or even a Canadian Tire. Many Paralympians, many para-athletes get into sport because someone knew someone who was connected to their third cousin, who knew someone because you get the point at this point. That's how most Paralympic journeys, most parasport journeys begin. However, as soon as I heard about what Andrea and the OneAbility Games is doing, is bringing that direct path. And as a kid who grew up from the age of 2 with a disability, seeing this hope, this belief is one of the most beautiful things. Thank you to the OneAbility Games for putting this together. Thank you to the City of Richmond, because this goes beyond Paralympic medals. This goes beyond national championships. This goes beyond so many things that happen on the field of play. This is giving kids that chance to make friends that will last a lifetime. And it's giving families that hope, that belief that tomorrow and today it's going to be a great day. Cannot wait to see everything that happens here in May. Thank you for your time.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for being here today. Thank you for your words, Nathan. Those are very impactful, and that's why we're all here today. So, on behalf of the BC Wheelchair Basketball Society, I'm incredibly proud to announce our partnership with the OneAbility Games and with Wheelchair Basketball Canada to deliver the 2026 National Basketball Championships. And as well, we are participating in the play stream, so we're really looking forward to that part of the event as well. For decades, BCWS has worked to grow wheelchair basketball across BC. From first-time participants learning to push a chair and dribble at the same time, all the way to high-performance athletes representing Canada on the world stage. Hosting nationals as part of the OneAbility Games is a natural extension of that journey. It allows us to showcase the very best athletes in the country, while also welcoming new players and families into the sport through the play stream. The combination is powerful. The National Championships will bring Canada's top wheelchair basketball players together in an environment that celebrates excellence, competition, and community. These athletes train year-round. They're students, professionals, parents, leaders, and they are elite competitors. They deserve a stage that matches their talent, and through this partnership, that's exactly what they'll be getting. At the same time, the play stream ensures the games are not only about podium performances, but about participation, discovery, and joy. Introducing new athletes to wheelchair basketball and creating opportunities for people with disabilities to try sport in a welcoming and supportive environment and showing families what pathways exist from grassroots all the way to high performance is extremely important for us. Partnering with OneAbility allows us to do this on a bigger scale than ever before. Their vision of inclusive and multi-sport celebration aligns perfectly with our mission and vision. Together, we're building an event that will not only crown national champions, but also strengthen the future of adaptive sport in BC. We also know the impact of this event will reach far beyond the basketball court. It will bring athletes, coaches, officials, and families from across the country into our community. It will create volunteer opportunities, inspire young people, and challenge perceptions about disability and sport. When people see wheelchair basketball in person, it changes how they think about what athletes with disabilities can do. That shift in perception is just as important as any medal. I want to thank the leadership team at OneAbility for their collaboration and belief in what we can build together. I also want to recognize our athletes, coaches, volunteers, and staff who have laid the groundwork for BC to host an event of this caliber. We're excited, we're ready, and we can't wait to welcome the country to an unforgettable 2026 inaugural OneAbility Games. Thank you, and we'll see you there.
Marnie, thank you so much for joining us today. Can you tell us what's happening here at the Richmond Oval today? Why are we here?
Oh, we're really excited today to announce the launch of the inaugural OneAbility Games, which I think is super exciting. It's going to make a huge impact for kids with disabilities all across BC. And wheelchair basketball is going to be a big part of the compete stream of that event. So we're really excited to be hosting the national championships along with OneAbility and Wheelchair Basketball Canada.
For those individuals who are not familiar with OneAbility Games, what would you like to share with them about OneAbility Games?
Well, I think this is the first one. OneAbility Games it's an opportunity for kids with disabilities and able-bodied kids to experience a variety of different sports for people with disabilities, an adaptive environment with all the equipment and everything provided. And so I think what it'll eventually grow into is a really great competition, which is really lacking for kids with disabilities around the province. So we're really excited for this first year just to kind of get the information out there, get schools and students involved, and then really grow it from there.
Incredible. And today we have a Paralympian joining us, Nathan Clement. So that's incredible. I think it's really important for kids to also see individuals like Nathan and hear his stories. How important do you think it is for parents and young kids to learn to see that, hey, you can get out there, you can play, and perhaps you can be the next Nathan?
Yeah, I think it's great. And Nathan is a really great example of what a really awesome high-performance athlete looks like, and he's worked really hard to achieve his goals. I myself was a Paralympian as well and have a few gold medals from back in the day with wheelchair basketball. So I think for us to be able to come back and to share our stories with folks like you and with the kids and the students and stuff, it's really important for people just to get a really good picture of what adaptive sport is and more information about the Paralympics, especially with the Winter Games coming up soon. They'll be all over the news, and I know the Canadian team has been announced, so we're really excited about our Canadian Paralympians heading off to Italy as well.
Incredible. What does it mean to you personally to see these games come to life this May?
I think for me personally, it's a really great step for us. I know we have these types of games out in Quebec in Eastern Canada, and I've been out a few times and experienced that. So I think it's really great that we're able to bring that model here into BC, and I think it's just going to grow from here. Andrea's a really great organizer, and we've got some really great sponsors on board, and the school districts are really keen on it. So I'm really excited about the play stream, which is super fun, but then the compete stream, which is going to have our highest level of wheelchair basketball in Canada with our national championships. So
now, what makes this event different from anything else happening in BC right now?
Well, this event in particular is really focused on supporting students and kids with disabilities. So we have a variety of different adaptive sport organizations and some really great provincial sport organizations that provide their particular sporting type events, but we don't have anything that kind of brings us all together. And so that's what this is doing. So we'll all be in the same facility, and we have opening ceremonies and music and snacks, and it'll just be like a really fun multi-sport event.
Tell me a little bit about your journey.
So for me, I was in a skiing accident when I was 18 years old, so it was a very, very, very long time ago. Luckily, I met Rick Hansen when I was going through GF Strong in my rehab process, and he told me about adaptive sport and, you know, opportunities that were still available to me. And it really kind of planted a seed for me early on. It took me a while to come back around to it. I started out initially in swimming, and I went to a couple of international competitions, and then I got involved with wheelchair basketball. And in 1992, I made the national team and went to my first Paralympics in Barcelona, which was very exciting, yes. I had this dream of a young girl to be a skier at the Olympics, but when I was in Barcelona and we won our gold medal and we were sitting on the podium and I had my Canada jersey and my gold medal and the flag was going up and the national anthem was being played, it was a really proud moment for me, and I wasn't thinking to myself, geez, I wish I had been skiing today. It was just like, I think it was a real turning point in terms of me accepting my disability and understanding what my life was going to be like as a person with a disability, and just really embracing the fact that I was on this great team and we had set this goal together and we had achieved it. So yeah, I think wheelchair basketball was really helped me kind of calibrate after my accident and be involved with a fantastic community that I'm still involved with now. So it's been a 40-year journey.
I'd love to hear what OneAbility Games would have meant to you when you were 18. Like, if you had the opportunity to attend, to volunteer, to participate, what it would have been like for you to have an event like this back then?
I think it would have been a really important launch to my career to be able to participate in an event like this. And I think the most important thing with this event is it's really targeted at youth and kids. And a lot of times, kids with congenital disabilities who are born with their disability don't have those opportunities just to play and to compete and to go to different types of multi-sport games, or to be in an environment with their peers that are the same as them and have the, you know, those different types of abilities. So these games, I think, are going to be huge for kids, just in terms of their self-confidence, their ability to maybe learn a new sport or to pick a future, you know, just to see different types of sports. So I just think there's just so many positive aspects to the games that it's really exciting, and it's just great.
Incredible. Now, lastly, what advice would you give to a student who may be curious about sport and unsure where to start?
It can be a little bit scary sometimes to get started, but I think just taking the first step, and if you're able to come out that day, perfect. I think it'll be a very welcoming and safe environment for kids to try a bunch of different sports. It'll be super fun. I'm sure it's going to be crazy with so many people around, but I think if you're nervous or if you're wondering if it's for you, come and try it out, because you can, you know, I think that there'll be something here for everybody, which I think is a really exciting way to offer an event like this. And whether you're volunteering or participating or spectating or helping us get things organized, it's just going to be a really fun event, and we're really looking forward to it.
Well, thank you so much for your time. I really
no problem.
appreciate it. This was great. Thank you. Joining us now is Acting Mayor Carol Day here in the city of Richmond. Carol, thank you so much for taking the time to stop by.
It's absolutely my thrill to be here. What a great opportunity.
It's a beautiful space, Richmond Oval. So how important was it for the city of Richmond to get involved with the OneAbility Games?
Oh, absolutely. You know, we try to be as inclusive as possible here in the city of Richmond, and that's why the Oval, as you can see, is divided into different sections. We want to accommodate everybody, including all sports, even the wall for climbing and ice hockey, and it's all here at the Richmond Olympic Oval.
And what would you like to say to parents as well as young athletes or young kids who are hoping to become athletes?
You know, give it a try. Have the confidence in yourself to just get out and do it, because everybody's good at something, and you don't know till you try.
Indeed. How would you say this aligns with broader goals around youth engagement for accessibility as well as community well-being?
Well, you know, we're one of the first cities to incorporate the Rick Hansen guidelines to make sure that buildings are accessible to everybody. And that's the first step. The next step is to encourage people to have the desire to get engaged. But first, they got to be able to get up the stairs.
Indeed. And as we see right behind us, we have some wheelchairs coming in. I believe for some young athletes, feel free to come by. I see the basketball right behind them. How do you feel events like this create ripple effects in the community beyond the games themselves?
Well, because they're long lasting. You know, like if somebody picks up a sport, it could be something like pickleball or, you know, blind hockey. I've never even heard of blind hockey until this event. I mean, who would have known that that was even possible? But once people hear about it and they get excited about it, I suspect they're going to get engaged.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for your time. Enjoy your day, and I'm very excited to hear you speak. All right. Well, thank you so much for welcoming us, Andrea. Tell us about your role here with OneAbility Games.
I'm the executive director of the charity that's hosting the games and director of games.
Now, this is the inaugural year. Tell us about the inspiration behind OneAbility Games.
Yeah, thanks for that question. So the OneAbility Games was born out of our introduction to an event in Montreal called Défi Sportif Ultra Go, which has been happening for 42 years. And we love the format of that. We love that it brings different disabilities together, that it really celebrates a whole range of people and creates community. And so we wanted to bring this to the West Coast, and we've been able to work with some really incredible partners to make it happen.
Incredible. So today is the media day. Now the games are taking place in May. Tell us about what we can expect in May.
So the games will take place from May 13th to 17th here at the incredible Richmond Olympic Oval. And we will have 2 streams of competition. We will have the play stream, which is for school-age kids, which will be Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. We'll host 750 kids over those 3 days with a whole range of different disabilities. And then we'll move into our Achieve stream, which will host wheelchair basketball nationals, goalball nationals, and BC Hockey is going to host not BC Hockey, Canadian Blind Hockey is going to host a BC Cup, and we'll also have Superheroes Hockey doing a school-age hockey program over the weekend. So 5 days, all different ages, all different disabilities, and a whole range of different sports.
Incredible. This games model brings together first-time student experiences as well as championship-level competition. Why is that integration so important?
I really believe that it's important for youth to see what is possible in disability sport. We are about to embark in February with the Olympics and the Paralympics, and that's such a cool opportunity for you to see what different levels of sport look like. And we'll be showcasing that all in one building over the 5 days of the OneAbility Games. So it's a great opportunity to just connect and to show what can come next and what a sporting pathway can be.
And before I let you go, is there something you would like our audience to know that we haven't touched on?
We'd love the community to be involved. So we have volunteer spots available, we have sponsorships, we need lots of support in a variety of different ways. So you're welcome to come watch or get involved in another way.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you for welcoming us. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Jessica, can you tell us about OneAbility Games and what inspired you to get involved?
Yeah, so OneAbility Games is a multi-sport, multi-disability tournament that will be happening this coming May at the Richmond Olympic Oval. It has 2 streams of opportunities. So our play stream is for school-age students, K to 12. We've created an adapted resource hub for schools to implement within the classroom. And then we have our Achieve stream as well, which is competitive athletes, 3 sports happening this year, goalball, blind ice hockey, and wheelchair basketball. So yeah, lots of amazing opportunities for athletes with disabilities. The reason that I wanted to be involved is because I am obviously a person with a disability. I had my accident when I was 15, so I was in school when I had my accident, and there wasn't opportunities for me to be involved in sport at that time within my school. So it was hard. I was a super athletic kid, and then all of a sudden it felt like I had lost the opportunity to play sports within my school in the way that I had. So just thinking back to that version of myself and how I wished that there was those opportunities for me, and now seeing that this is a way to create those opportunities for other kids with disabilities, I feel really passionate about that, and I think it's a big void that needs to be filled. So
It was a beautiful morning. You did a great job hosting, and it's just great to hear so many different individuals like the acting Mayor Carol Day, as well as Paralympians, speaking about the importance of something such as OneAbility Games. And you touched a bit on how meaningful it would have been had OneAbility Games existed back when you were 15. What would you like to say to kids with disabilities along with their parents about coming out in May, but also just getting involved in sports?
Yeah, I think sport plays such a huge part in creating community. It gives you opportunities to make friends. It builds overall physical and mental health. Honestly, sport was the thing that I turned to after my accident that gave me like the independence to feel comfortable as a person with a disability. And I think sometimes those opportunities aren't obviously handed to us in the same ways as people with disabilities as someone that doesn't have one. And so it's so important to just, when they're presented to you, to really take them. And I would urge anybody that's at all interested in trying sport to sign up for OneAbility Games, come and check it out. And even if you feel a bit hesitant, it's going to be a really supportive environment where anybody, any ability will be welcome, and we'll hopefully have a lot of fun.
Nathan, so great to see you again. Tell us about your involvement with OneAbility Games. Like, you had some great words to say, very inspirational.
It's always great to see you, Zara, and it's amazing to have you here today. So with the OneAbility Games, it's going to be a multi-sport games for kids with disabilities in the play stream, but also achieve stream in Vancouver and British Columbia. And my involvement is I'm an athlete ambassador for the OneAbility Games. So as a kid growing up in Vancouver, I found sports through the non-direct path. Like, people got me connected into here, but seeing this opportunity and seeing the work done by this amazing team of people behind the OneAbility Games has been really amazing. And as an athlete who's been in sport now for nearly 20 years, I want to make that difference for the up and coming generation, for kids in the present, but also kids in the future, to find friends and find them what they love, whether it's sport, community, or whatever they're looking for, that they can connect through that. So that's why I've decided to come on and join as an athlete ambassador.
Incredible. Now, any kids who are perhaps fans of yours or who want to get started and are feeling perhaps some sort of internal anxiety or fear around getting started, can they get in touch with you directly, or is there something like a mentorship program that the OneAbility Games offers, or can parents reach out to you? How does that work?
Yeah, so for the OneAbility Games, they don't have a mentorship program that I'm aware of at the moment. I won't speak to that for myself, but I am open to communication. I know the team quite well at OneAbility, and I'm always open to making that difference, whether it's a family, a kid trying to get involved in sport, has questions about their own journey, about figuring out what they want to do. I am always open and available for conversations, as well as there's so many amazing organizations who are partnered with the OneAbility Games, from BC Wheel Sports to BC Wheelchair Basketball, Athletics BC, Athletics Canada, and possibly more sports in the future that will give that opportunity for kids. But my doors are always open. I'm always there to communicate, whether it's connecting someone to OneAbility or it's giving that chance so a kid can find a sport that they love and just find a direction that means most to them.
What would it have meant to you to have something like OneAbility Games available when you were younger?
Wow, it would really have meant the world. I think to me, it would have held a lot of gravity and a lot of weight, but I think even more to my parents and to the people closest to me, knowing that there's a community, knowing that there's a network of people out here that want kids to have fun, want kids to be able, at the end of the day, to be kids and be accepted amongst their friends, amongst the people closest to them, and be able to play different sports, be able to try different sports. I've been so fortunate in my own journey, my own path. I've had people step out of their way to help and support me, but having this here, and if I had this as a kid, it would have meant everything to me. and it would have meant everything to my parents, my grandparents, and everyone close to me. So now having this chance to make that difference for the next generation, for the current generation, means the world, because that's going to fuel so many kids forward and create an endless cycle of kids, once they compete in these games, 10, 15, 20 years down the line, wanting to make that difference for that next group. Like a lot of people made that difference for me 10, 15, 20 years ago. So it would have meant the world.
Now tell us about these Olympics that are happening in Milan and then Paralympics. You have something really exciting coming up. I know we're going to dig deep into that as the week goes on. You're also involved in the cauldron lighting in Vancouver. I'd love to hear from you on camera, your upcoming role.
So I'm really excited. Coming up in March, I'm going to be covering the Paralympics for the Canadian Broadcasting Channel, or CBC as it's known, celebrating, covering the Paralympic Games, the 14th Paralympics and the 50th anniversary of the first Paralympics that happened back in 1976 in Örnsköldsvik, Sweden.
Incredible.
So I'm just so excited to celebrate so many amazing athletes from Vancouver, from BC, but around the country and also around the world too, as there's so many stories, so many amazing personalities that myself and the team that I'm working with CBC cannot wait to share, highlight, and give that representation that they deserve, and give that celebration to the achievement of just going to a Paralympics or even an Olympics, and just celebrating even success beyond that, where hopefully there'll be medals around their neck. So I'm really looking forward to the next month of just celebrating Olympic, but also Paralympic sport and the possibility that communities in sport bring together.
Incredible. Congratulations. It's great to see your journey, and I'm excited to see you on the 6th of February as cauldron lighting takes place here in downtown Vancouver at the Jack Pool Plaza. Nathan Clement, a pleasure as always, and thank you so much for inviting us here. What an inspiring day to be here in Richmond at the Richmond Oval for the Media Advisory Day for OneAbility Games. Merci beaucoup.
Thank you, Zara.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of On Location Vancouver. If you would like to be a guest on the show, please scan the QR code and someone from our team will be in touch. We'll see you soon.